Doug Ford does seem to have an amazing superpower, which is to say he can go out there and step in 3 feet of manure and get it all over him, and then come out before the cameras and really emote, apologize, and his polling numbers go right back up. As they used to say on television in the 50s and 60s, "Splain, Lucy."
I won't hit you over the head with a rolling pin after I do it. It is remarkable, and I think it is actually his superpower, and it is rare because he seems to be able to act as almost a spectator on his government sometimes. It's like, hey, Premier, what do you think about your government wasting? Oh, that sounds awful. I can't believe I'm going to get to the bottom of it. It's like, no, man, you're in charge. Like, how can you possibly? But he has, I think, been able to consistently kind of paint himself as an outsider. I'm not part of this machine. I think the longer he goes in government, I think the less that ability remains. But yeah, he does have a Teflon-like ability to stand back and say, you know what? That was the wrong thing to do. I'm super sorry. Like, aw shucks, folks, let's move along. And he's kept that. I've actually never seen a politician be able to do it as effectively as he has.
Or as many times.
And as many times. But I also do think that in politics, and particularly all of us as kind of almost like sports fanatics watching the thrust and parry of this, we really obsess over flip-flopping or changing your mind. I think most people in the country, most voters accept that that's part of life. And if you have facts in front of you that maintain that, then you can. So I think people care less about flip-flops than all of us do, which is also why he's able to do it.
How infuriated are New Democrats at being, once again, watching the Premier do this over and over and over, seemingly successfully?
Oh, look, there's a couple of parts to this. You expect the Premier to do this at some point. You're just like, okay, this is, the usual thing. What I've actually been really quite encouraged by has been watching the New Democrats, in particular Marit Stiles, being out there talking about the closures in Minden and in the emergency room. She just did a Northern Ontario tour, going into the mines, talking to people on the ground, what's happening. She is also promoting really interesting women-led businesses. There's a coverall manufacturer in Northern Ontario that makes it specifically for women. And, again, women in trade, something Minister McNaughton was quite good at talking about, but the rest of this government not so much. So it gives you, if you're an opposition leader and the leader of the opposition, you're going to go out and say, here is what they are doing. They are not going to fulfill any of these promises and these aw shucks. We're not getting the housing built. We're not getting the emergency departments up and operational. You're still waiting months and months and months, no matter how much gobsmacking amounts of money are in the Ministry of Health. You're still not getting your hip replaced nearly as fast as you should be. Those are the things that if you're an opposition leader 2 years out from the next election, you're building up that database, you're finding those candidates.